until the end, Kick-Ass 2 is basically two movies. It's a movie about a bunch of numbskulls that try to be superheroes, and it's a movie about a superhero that tries to fit in with a bunch of numbskulls. And neither one of these was worth my fucking time. Where Kick-Ass 2 fails in the worst way is that it fails to convince me that Dave and his merry crew of misfits deserve to take up law into their own hands and to make the world a better place. Their incompetence is only outmatched by the incompetence of the villain, the motherfucker, who is incredibly annoying throughout the movie. And while I understand that Christopher Mintz-Plasse probably had a good time filming this, the only good thing out of his performance is the fact that we saw freaking Jorah Mormont. Like, what the fuck is Mormont doing in this movie? Was he in prison for slave trading? I take superheroes, the idea of superheroes, very seriously. The only reason that Dave re-becomes a superhero is out of boredom. Can you imagine Superman or Batman becoming who they are because they were bored? On the other hand, Hit Girl Mindy trying to fit in with her high school peeps, it felt like it was her audition to carry because it was so poorly staged, and I cannot believe that there are high schools and there are teenagers in America like they are portrayed in this movie. I refuse to believe that. But when it comes to these two plot lines interacting, what is most infuriating is that you see Mindy trying to give up her life of crime fighting and try to live a normal life, and then in comes Dave all the time in her ear like, this is who you are, you're supposed to kick ass, come back, come be a superhero. And I'm like, shut the fuck up and mind your own business. Just because you got back into crime fighting, which by the way isn't exactly crime fighting, because you were bored does not give you the right to tell other people how to live their fucking lives. Back the fuck off, Dave. Just back off. And this all culminates with two mobs of people because, make no mistake, by the end of it we do have mob violence. They go downtown to fight each other for no other reason than two assholes told them to. It's not good versus evil, it's dumb versus dumber. And on top of everything, the movie is cheap and poorly done. And there is violence in this, but the action scenes are weaker than in the first one, in my opinion. And the violence is presented in a very cartoonish way. Even when people die and it's supposed to have an emotional impact because they're relatively important characters, you don't feel anything because you're essentially watching a cartoon. Now, on the subject of Jim Carrey, he was actually pretty good in this. Colonel Stars and Stripes. Colonel? No, not Colonel. That's Corn. Mr. Stars and Stripes. He was actually pretty competent. He was the one that I was like, yes, that guy can fight crime. He is smart and he doesn't endanger himself or other people. And I actually watched his performance very closely because Jim Carrey took a stance against violence after Sandy Hook because of this movie and said that he would not support it, but his character actually doesn't fire any guns in the movie as far as I can remember. He does have a dog and he trained the dog to eat people's testicles, but what can you do? So yeah, Kick-Ass 2. I confess I haven't read the comic book that this is based on, but I think it does a piss poor job of presenting the reasons why people would want in real life to become superheroes. And there is one quote in this movie that brilliantly exemplifies why I hate it. At some point, Hit Girl tells Dave that, you don't need to have skills or be very smart in order to be a superhero. You just need to be brave. No. You do need to be really smart because otherwise you're just asking for trouble.